Hello, this is Broly SS God, and I'm back with another video. And yes, I'm about to talk about the topic again about Helldivers 2, second party, non-owned by Sony property. So yes, let's talk about it. Anyway, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of videos of we're getting Helldivers 2. We're gonna get more games coming. Sony's gonna be porting over games over here towards Xbox. No, no, no. I'm saying no to the part of Helldivers 2 not being a first party studio. It's not owned by Sony, and it's just pretty much just a time exclusive anyway. And I feel as though that people should also realize that Predator Hunting Grounds is also a time exclusive that was published by Sony themselves. Now, as far as important the game over there, no, they didn't do that. It was done by Iconic Elphonic Studios, whatever they're called. They is the one that funded the game for the rest of the way, and they poured it towards Xbox. But it was still published by Sony. Now, what I'm saying is, people is going with the narrative like saying, well, that's because Sony, had Nixxes port the game over to Xbox, then they published the game. Bruh, it's still a second party game. Nixxes ain't no game. Nixxes is not a first party studio like far as no God of War or um no Naughty Dog and nothing like that. Ain't that just a porting company? I'm just saying. Don't they also port games to PC? You see what I'm saying? They also port games to PC too. So what? Who cares that they port over the game over to Xbox? The thing is that game is not a first party studio. That's the thing I'm trying to make you understand. It's no Santa Monica. It's no Naughty Dog. It's no, you know what I'm saying? It's none of those kind of companies, no kind of studios. It's just Arrowhead, which Sony does not own Arrowhead. Arrowhead is a very independent company. And also, again, Arrowhead sit there and said that they wanted to put the game over Xbox. They had said that already. They also said that because they said that if Sony don't do it, that they're going to go ahead and fund the next Helldivers 3 on Xbox themselves. So Sony really doesn't have that much say. They don't own the damn game. Sony does not own the game. That's the point I'm trying to tell you to make. Sony does not own that game. So basically, Arrowhead has a right to say what they want to say. It's their game. You know what I'm saying? Like Kojima, I don't know what's going on with that part with that game. I guess Sony did own that game and they sold the rights back to Kojima. I don't know how did Sony own it in the first place. I don't know about what's going on with that. But anyway, bro, Arrowhead, they pretty much own their own IPs. Sony does not own IP. Stellar Blade, I'm starting to think now Sony does not own that either. Sony doesn't. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Does Sony own Stellar Blade, or was it just published? Let me see. Let's look it up real quick. I said this earlier, but I didn't think about Stellar Blade. Let's see. Does Sony own Stellar Blade? I doubt that they do on PS5. Let's see. Yes, Stellar Blade is available on PlayStation 5 and is considered a PlayStation 5 exclusive title. Game was developed by Shift Up. Listen to this though, and published by Sony Interactive Studio. Nah, they don't own it. They don't own that game, bro. Does PlayStation own Stellar Blade? Let's see. No, Sony does not own Stellar Blade IP. While Sony Interactive Entertainment (SIE) is the publisher for the Stellar Blade, the game is developed by Shift Up, and South Korea game developer who retain the intellectual property rights. Sony Entertainment owns the publishing rights, which includes funding, PR, and marketing. And it's the same thing with Helldivers. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's the same thing with Helldivers. But you got people saying, well, if you read it off the internet, that it's wrong for Helldivers. Why is it wrong for any, look, so why is it right for any other game that's not owned by Sony? When it comes to Helldiver, all of a sudden now the internet's wrong. The Google's wrong for saying that it's not owned by Sony for Helldivers. Get real. Get real. And what it is, well, this is the problem, right? In my opinion, when you got uh, some content creators that's going to sit there and claim things that doesn't belong to Sony. Even Sony sit there and said that they own it, which they don't. They don't own Helldivers 2. And from what I heard, Helldivers 2 started out on PC anyway. Sony never made part one. All they did was publish it. That's all they did was publish the game and market it. That's all they did, bruh. But everybody's going crazy. Oh, we get more games coming from Sony. But you know what? Only from that point of view, I don't see it happening. But from Sony putting games one day a year or 1 year later on PC, I can see they might want to put games over the PlayStation. I mean, the Xbox. Only because of Hiroki Toki. I'm sorry, guys. That dude ain't right. I'm like Hank Hill. That boy ain't right. That dude ain't right. I'm telling you. That nigga is like the next Satya Mandela. I can see it in him. The way he talks about being more aggressive about putting games on PC 1 year later. This is why I like Jim Ryan in certain ways because look, Jim Ryan was not his idea to put games for live service games. That was never his idea. That was their idea. It was the higher ups above Jim Ryan and above Hiroki Toki, and that's why even though Jim Ryan left, they're still pushing for her live service games. If they didn't believe in live service games, then why are they still pushing for it to this day, even though Jim Ryan's been gone through all these years? Not years, but after all this time, so since last year he's been gone. And they're still pushing for live service services. They're still pushing, even though Concord failed, and they still pushing for live service services? Because they're the ones that wanted it. They wanted that. They also wanted them to put games on PC 1 year later. Because look, Jim Ryan didn't want games going for 1 year later. He said 4 years later. Keep that in mind. Jim Ryan said that 4 years later. He never once said, well, we're going to be putting games over 1 year later. Did Jim Ryan never once sit there and said, we're going to be more aggressive to put games on PC? No, that's a rookie toki. That's a rookie toki. And Jim Ryan was also porting games to PS4 and PS5. And you know what? And I don't care about him doing that. Because I would rather see games going to PS4 and PS5 than going to a whole different platform that doesn't even belong to Sony, period. Now look at Sony now, they can barely even sell that many consoles. You still got to have the player base on PS4 because I bet you had the player base, yeah, but a PC? Everybody at home got a daggone PC now. Come on, girl, are you serious? Why would you do that to yourselves? We're gonna be playing games on PC at 1 year. That had to, bruh. I'm telling you. I'm not saying everybody got like a super PC, but they got a PC for them to play games. That's not, I'm telling you, they do. A lot of people got PCs these days. It's like, okay, I got a PC. I don't need a PS5. I got a PC now. Why do you think half the player base is still on PS4? They got PCs. I ain't gonna say all of them. I'm sure majority of them got PCs, and they playing online for free. Free. And you got PS3 players out here still playing PS3. You know why? Because they're playing online for free on top of that too, and plus they got PCs. So yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of Jim Ryan, but at the same time, I did like something that he did as far as like not putting our our games like a year later or 2 years later. He didn't do that. He was 4 years tops. That's what he said. 3 to 4 years. 3 years is the like least, and 4 years is the max. But yeah, yeah, Hiroki Toki, that's the only thing I can sit there and say that you can't be too convinced of him not putting games on Xbox. That's the only nigga that made me say I can't be 100% sure because he's a weird one. That boy ain't right, I'm telling you. But If it was for Rookie Toki, if he had somebody in there like Jack Trenton or Sean Layton, those are my two top guys. But I put, Jack Trenton on top of anybody though. That's my boy. Jack Trenton, man, he was good. Um, Herman Host, he's too much on into like Horizon Forbidden West. He's about the Horizon Forbidden West me crazy. Like I need a break from that game. That's why I didn't buy the Lego game. Like even though it's a different formula, different look, different style, different gameplay, it's just I'm a Horizon out, man. Please go back to something else besides Horizon. Make Killzone or something. Bring back some games we want from back in the OG days, like Twisted Metal. Bring back Heavily Sword. Why don't they bring back Heavily Sword? They like female characters anyway. Bring back Heavily Sword. Y'all, or give it to the Insomniac. They good with Spider Man. They can give it to God of War. They look. Insomniac focus. They mainly focus on like what hand to hand combat with the two Blades of Chaos. Give it to Insomniac. I'm not Insomniac. Give it to Santa Monica Studios. They can pretty much work with Naoko. Her name is Naoko with the Heavenly Sword blades. Let them work with that. Why won't they bring my Heavenly Sword? It's a shame I got to go back in time to my PS3 just to play old games. I got to go buy these games from stores like Amazon, pay mad money for some of these games. Not all, but some of these games, they're very expensive for PS3 era, and they're really jacked up in prices. But I got to go buy them because they don't sell them in stores no more. As far as like GameStop or like the PlayStation Store, you're not gonna find those games no more. Like Splatterhouse, no. Splatterhouse cost $300. $300. But I got it for a lot cheaper than that, thank God. And that's a PS3 game. I went and bought that. I got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. Those are games that's not ever coming to the store, PlayStation 5. And, I missed it so much I went ahead and bought both copies. Not brand new, but I think I got one copy brand new, one copy is like old, it, refurbished, whatever. Anyway, I got those two. I went and got oh yeah, Heavily Sword, by the way, that was a brand new game I bought a copy. It's a Japanese. It's like a Japanese port, whatever you call it, like a Japanese. It's like a red case for it though. It's pretty sick. I got that giant. I bought Battle Destruction Battle Star. What's it called? Battle All Stars. Battle Stars. PlayStation, but PlayStation All Stars. I bought that game too with Kratos and Naruto and Killzone Dude and Pet Princess. These are games that I would love to see come back to PlayStation. Bring back PlayStation Home. Y'all want to do live service? You know what? I might do a video on that. They want to do all these live service. Bring back PlayStation Home and keep it for PlayStation 4 and 5. You don't need to put everything on PC all the time. You put it on PS4, PS5. As a matter of fact, reopen it for PS3 for PS3 players. I'm pretty sure they still buy stuff on PS3. Bring it back for that way you can get your money back for stuff. People buy stuff from PlayStation Home. They really, really do. Bring back OG PS Home, and I'm telling you, they will make money. They will make money. Because you know what? When I was on PS3, I wasn't even buying games like that. I was pretty much staying on home a lot. I buy a game here and there, like God of War. That's it. After that, I'm on PS Home. Or I buy like Midnight Club LA. After that's on PS Home. I buy those games most of the time. Play those games mostly God of War and Midnight Club. After that, just stayed on PS Home. The rest of the night, I mean, I didn't. I just had fun on PS Home. I was buying stuff for my avatar, buying pets and buying all kind of like houses and apartments and space, all kind of spaces. Like bring my places at home. I don't know why y'all see they get rid of places at home because they said like they wanted to make their stores so that you can like make things for yourself and all that kind of crap. And it's places at home got too sexual and they want to make more PG-13. Man, they had girls walking around in that new giant nibble arounds and the daggone thong. Talking about too sexy, but yeah, you got the same outfits from places at home in this game as well, the nibble arounds. and they shut that down because it wasn't the same. It just got so dull and boring, and there was no kind of real love into that game. It really wasn't. And to me, the advertisers look way worse on that, the Nibbler Rounds, than they did on PlayStation. PlayStation Home, it did. But I'm gonna start making some videos about that too, like how Sony should bring my PS home, and they can make some money back doing that. You know, keep it on PlayStation system, PS4, PS5, and also PS3. Let everybody get to play it. I mean, it came from the PS3 era. Why not put it on PS3? Oh yeah, that's right. Because of today's graphics on PS5, it won't be able to handle PS3. They can put it on PS4 PS5 then. And then you know what? If they did it, if they put it on PS4, PS5, I guarantee you, the ones left over on PS3, a lot of those people did not even buy games. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I ain't gonna say whole lot, but I'm saying like majority of those people were like older people, and like all they want to do is get on home and just relax and play on home. It wasn't too much into like playing games like that. Anyway, it's another story though. But yeah, guys, like let's keep in mind that Stellar Blade it's gonna be a time exclusive. I got a feeling Sony does not own it. I just read it to you guys right here. No, Sony does not own Stellar Blade IP. But I've been hearing so many people saying that they do own it, and that's the problem. You have people out here saying that Sony owns these IPs, but they don't. They don't own these IPs. So that's the problem. And then they're gonna sit there and make videos on my song. Well, this game is going into baseball. It's not okay. Who cares? It's not our game in the first place. It's not our game. We're gonna make videos on my song. Helldivers 2 going to Xbox Game Pass. Xbox, but who cares who's going to Xbox? It doesn't belong to us. So basically, yeah, Sony money hunted these games. They make deals, they money hunted these games. They don't belong to us. So basically, Hellblade, what's it called, Helldivers 2, should have been on Xbox. And it was not given in the first place. It was not given in the first place. Same thing with Indiana Jones. I mean, yeah, y'all did buy Indiana Jones and all that kind of stuff, but like if Microsoft didn't buy Indiana Jones, it would have came to us in the first place. It would have came straight to us. Same thing with Call of Duty. That's still, it's not a time exclusive, but I'm saying with like, if they made it time exclusive, it would have came to us and eventually it would. But Microsoft does own the company. That's different though. I got to take that back. They are different, but Microsoft's been nice to do it. Sony don't own these companies. So that's a big difference. But look at they got what? What's the name of that game? Bungie, Destiny. If Sony didn't buy them, they'd be still going to They could make a time exclusive if they wanted to, but they didn't. But what I'm saying is, okay, they own Destiny. That's the difference. If they, but yeah, they made a deal for them to definitely go everywhere. That's just stupid because they don't have any kind of exclusive games coming from Destiny. Period. But I'm getting off track. My point is this: these games that's going over there right now are not first party. That's my point. They're not first party games, and doesn't matter if Nixon's ported over there or not. Nixon's is not a developer that makes games, and they don't do God of War, they don't do Spider Man 2, they don't do Uncharted, they don't do no game, they don't do no Last of Us, no games like that. So why does it matter if a port is ported over by Nix's? Who cares? Who cares? That's not a big deal. The big deal is not seeing your main um, games go over to Xbox. You know, which they will eventually when they get the Steam on that Xbox console handheld. So, like I said, Sony is basically ushering in the games 1 year later. That's my point I was trying to say earlier from Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan was like 4 years later. And I think that Sony didn't like the fact that he did that. They didn't like that. So why would they go from 4 years to 2 years to 3 years and then Rocky told you something, so yeah, we're gonna be more aggressive with the ports, the PC. Yeah, because you got to deal with Microsoft to put those games on Steam. That's why they doing it like that. Everything go to Steam. 1 year later on Xbox, they know. They've been knowing it. Like I said before, my last video, if we can figure it out, why couldn't they? Why couldn't Sony figure it out? They've been knowing it. That's why if they know what's going on, and that's why they doing it. They know what's going on. That way, they can get money from the PC side, from Xbox, and the PC players. And all Sony got to say is, well, it's on PC. It doesn't really count. It's not really an Xbox. You know why? Because we're saying it. It's not really an Xbox. So it doesn't matter. It's not really an Xbox. They're not competition, right? Why you not considering PC a threat? You're saying that Xbox not a threat either because it's not a PC, right? That's not a threat because it's not a PC. Even though we know it's a PC, but you know, I'm sorry. Sony considered it as a PC. I'm getting confused. I'm so confused. Sony considered it as a PC. That's what they're gonna be doing because it has Steam on it. They don't care because they're gonna consider it as a PC, not as an Xbox. And from what I've been hearing is Sony doesn't consider PC as a threat, right? There's just more money to be made. So that's why they're gonna be ushering and pushing for year later titles on PC and also day and date titles on PC. But check this out. That game lost Souls aside. That game's going up on PC day and date, right? And I can't hear nobody talking about that. Like, why? Because it's not made by Sony First Party Studio. Doesn't matter. But look, that game was not a live service game either. Remember that, right? They said only live service games will be going to PC. But why is that game going to PC? Unless Sony doesn't own the rights to them. Let's check that out real quick, shall we? Does Sony own Lost to the Side? Does Sony own Lost? I think it's called Lost to the Side, if I'm mistaken. Side IP. Let's see what they say. Um, no. Sony does not own IP for Lost Soul Aside, while Sony Interactive Entertainment is publishing the game on PlayStation 5 and PC. They are not the IP holders. According to gaming news source, developer Alterizo Games retains the intellectual property rights. Sony's involvement is a publisher, including funding and support through the. That's all they do. All Sony's been doing, dog, is publishing games, funding and publishing games that don't belong to them. That's all they've been doing because their first party studios have no games right now besides Ghost of Yotei. Yippee. Man, I ain't even gonna lie. Ghost of Tsushima was I'm getting tired. If it ain't nothing like this, you know what I'm saying? I like ninja games. I like ninjas, but I like cool ninjas like this, okay? Samurais, man, I ain't really no samurai fan like that. I like stuff like this here. I can take 20 of these games right now, but I'm getting tired of like Ghost of Tsushima's and the last Ronins. I'm good, bro. But I think Microsoft, I appreciate Microsoft for putting this game out for me. Not just for me, but for everybody that likes Ninja Gaiden. I'm a huge fan of this. Also, that game's coming up for Sony. That's coming up pretty soon. The Phantom Blade, that's not owned by them either. Okay, that's gonna be a time exclusive. So don't be sitting here thinking you see, oh, Phantom Blade's coming to Xbox, y'all. That's a Xbox. That's a PlayStation Studio game. Let's look that up too. Who owns that game? Phantom Blade. That's it. Look it up right now. Is Phantom Blade a Sony IP? Phantom Blade. Hold up. No. So no. Sony does not own the Phantom Blade IP intellectual property. The Phantom Blade franchise, including the upcoming game Phantom Blade Zero, is developed and published by S Game, Chinese video game developer funded by Soulframe Ling. While Phantom Blade Zero is being released on PS5, PC, S Game collaborate closely with PlayStation's gaming division. This does not mean Sony owns the IP. Sony is acting more like a publisher in this case. It's similar to how Sony published games like Death Stranding, Demon's Souls, and Bloodborne developed by other studios without owning the IP. Hold up. They don't own Bloodborne? Wait. Death Stranding, yeah. She said Bloodborne developed by other studios without owning the IP. Wait a minute. I thought they owned Bloodborne. Hold up, bruh. Stop playing. Hold up. Does Sony own Bloodborne? All this time. Hold up. Yes, Sony owns the Bloodborne intellectual property. Means that they have the rights to the game and potential sequels, remakes, or other related media from software. The developer of the game does not own. Oh, so they do own Bloodborne. Okay, from the developers. Okay, from software, the developer of the game does not own the IP. So from software doesn't own the IP, but Sony does own Bloodborne. Okay, I'm about to say. All right, though, guys. I'm just giving y'all some tips of like just do your own research and like don't listen to some of these fanboys either on either side from PlayStation and also Xbox. Like you got some fanboys on PlayStation side that's want to sit here and claim just like Sony themselves. Oh yeah, we own the IP for the Helldivers too. We're the They said that they didn't say they own it. They said they published. Hold up, what did they say? They consider it as a first party studio, as a first party game, which is not. So do your own research, man, because like when you got some fanboys that's sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, we Sony, this first party studio for Helldivers 2." No, it's not. No, it's not, man. It ain't. And then they gonna make videos saying that it is, and Sony's doing this and doing that. All y'all really make videos about is Hiroki Toki being shady about putting games on PC and 1 year later. I would be concerned about that and be more concerned about him being like the next Satya Nadella and just putting games everywhere. But I'm not gonna say it just because of Helldivers 2. I'm going more for the PC thing of them porting games a year later. You see what I'm saying? Because if they want to be shady, they could go ahead and put God of War on Xbox. Just saying, but they didn't. They put up their Helldivers 2, which is a second party game. So basically what I'm saying is, as far as Xbox, we have not seen that one first party game make it over there. I mean, Lego Horizon on Nintendo's a different story. I don't want to get into that though. But we all know that the licensing with that and all that kind of stuff, and it's not the traditional type of first party game that Sony will put out on their own console, and also on other consoles as well. So that was different. But you know what? I noticed they didn't put that. How come they didn't put that on Xbox? The Lego game, but they gonna put over a Helldivers 2? Well, that's right, because it's a Dubro shooter console, I guess. And Nintendo's more like a family friendly type of thing, so it made more sense for them to put Lego on that side, I guess. So yeah, but it didn't even sell well over there. So that's the thing. You would think Nintendo guys would buy that game because it's a Nintendo family friendly, but yet they barely even sold anything over there. What makes you think that Xbox fanboys are going to sit there and buy Helldivers 2 on Xbox? And they got a way smaller player base over there compared to Nintendo. Nintendo's fan base on their side playing a game like the Lego game, which is more family friendly and fits right up the alley. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe the people might buy it if it's I don't know. They might if they put it on Game Pass. It's not gonna sell at all. But we'll see what happens. It might sell. It might not sell. It's only $39.99. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, guys, just don't worry about some of these videos of people popping up talking about some Spider-Man next and this and that. And if you know what, let's just say that does happen. You have the power. I have the power to say, you know what, it's time to go to another platform and let this one become an app, like Sega did. You know, if they want to become the next Sega, then so be it. Let them become an app. Because you were already seeing the PS4 players are still on that console, and it's the PS5 is slowly selling, not selling at no record breaking speeds, nothing like that either. So keep that in mind. Because they want to port games over to PC a year, 2 years later, and all that stuff, and that's why I said I give Jim Ryan some kind of props. At least he tried to hold out for our PS4 our games going to PC. He did try to make it 4 years longer, so that way we would have our exclusives. It should be one with a period, to be honest with you. But that guy Yoshida was the one that put it over there. It's him. I always thought it was. Some always said it was Corey Barlow that said that the port of PC, but nah, it was Yoshida Yoshida, Yoshida dude, the ex CEO, the ex president, whatever he was. It was his idea to port over to PC. All because of him. All because of him. And you know why? And you know why I think he did that? Because what happened between him and John Ryan? I think that by him getting mad about Jim Ryan, that Jim Ryan threatened to put him out. I think Yoshida did that before he left. He said, you know what, I'm gonna get y'all back. He knew that putting games on PC would slowly sell the console sales. He knew that. It wasn't about this new reaching no daggone China players, bro. It was about his revenge. His revenge on Sony, nigga. Think about it. Jim Ryan threatened. That's what I'm hearing. They said that Jim Ryan threatened to put him out of business if he didn't want to step down or some mess like that. He had a choice of stepping down or taking a position that he's supposed to be taking. So what he did was he didn't step down, but it was his idea. He took another position, but it was still his idea to port games on the PC, right? And look at your console sales right now. It's still up, but it's not as fast as it used to be. It's not as good as it used to be. It's not up there like back in the day when PS4 was selling. I don't know if it surpassed PS4 by now, or it just. I think it just now surpassed PS4 sales, but look how long it took for it to get there, and it's a PS5. So yeah, keep that in mind too. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Just don't pay no attention to some of these YouTubers out here. That's oh yeah, everything's coming to Xbox right now because Helldivers 2. That's on both sides, PlayStation and on Xbox side. Like I said, you got PlayStation fans that sit there and call this out for a game to be in first party, and they know it wasn't no first party game. And it's sad because we got to claim games that's not even out because Sony's too lazy to have our games out on time and have our games ready from first party studios, and that's on them. I'm not gonna sit here and call out a game that's not mine to be and claim it as first party because our own studios have got no games ready for us right now. No, I'm not doing that. Like Kamala Harris said, no, no. I'm not doing that, no. If 8 hours, 8 hours. That means that Sony just money ahead of the game to keep it exclusive for time for a time exclusive. That's all it is. So basically, Helldivers time exclusive. Matter of fact, that Silent Hill game, I guarantee that's time exclusive too. The Silent Hill remake with the Silent Hill games coming out, that's already out right now. That's time exclusive. I guarantee you. Matter of fact, before I go, let's look it up. Look it up right now. Silent Hill. Silent Hill game. I don't know what it's called, but we'll see. Silent Hill game. All right, so Konami owns the Silent Hill franchise, so that means it's time exclusive. They'll be going to Xbox free soon. Yeah, ain't no point looking up. It's owned by Konami, so yeah, that's gonna come to all platforms pretty soon. So yeah, guys, that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed your day. Hope you guys enjoyed your 4th of July as well. And also, just keep gaming and have fun, no matter where you play at. My point is just get across that, Helldivers 2 is not a first party studio. That's all my point I'm trying to make about this video right here. It's not a first party studio, guys, okay? And like I said, keep in mind Sony ported over Predator Hunting Ground. That's third party studio, but they did publish it. Damn, Sony does a lot of publishing, don't they? Do a lot of publishing and market making and all that kind of stuff, but that's crazy. That is so crazy. But they get lit. And that's all I gotta say, guys. Just be safe. God bless. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about Helldivers 2 to you guys. Do you feel as though that Helldivers 2 is a first party studio from Sony, which they don't own because they don't own Arrowhead, wink wink, and they don't own the IP. And if you feel as they do, tell me how. And please don't bring up Nixon's that's porting them over to as a Xbox. Because Nixon's is not a game developer. They just port people. They just port over games. That's all they do. So besides Nix's, what other reasons would you feel as though Helldivers 2 is a Sony's first party game? Just please tell me. All right, gotta go. God bless.